Hi, everyone, and welcome to Signature West Podcast. I'm your host, Sam West from Palm Springs, California. As you know, I'm a seasoned real estate agent since 1991, and I bring you the podcast to bring you inspiring stories. In the spirit of Pride Month, which we're about another week into it, today we're going to say farewell to Aids LifeCycle. And with me, two Palm Springers, two life cyclers, they've done it for years, Brad Roberts and Tim Wood. Hi, boys.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just
Yep.
fine. Thank you for having us this morning.
All right, here we go. So, how does it feel to have the last one of the of how many 30, 31? 31
31.
years, 31.
31.
How does it feel?
Exactly. Uh, it's surreal. It's surreal having it last that long. It's surreal having it now being over. It's one of those things that I think has been going on so long that we just all expected it to continue well into the future. And as we know, that's not always the case.
Between the two of you, you guys raised, I believe, around or maybe over $600,000. That's insane. That's insane. So let's go back from the beginning. Let's start with you, Tim, because I think Tim did it a little bit longer. Tim did it for 20 years. Brad, he did it for 11. Is that right? About
That's
right?
correct.
Correct.
So, Tim, what made you do it in the first place?
It wasn't the cause. I always look back in history and laugh at why I got started to begin with. It wasn't the cause necessarily. It was the physical challenge. I wanted something in my life. I needed something in my life to give me a challenge, and I loved cycling when I was a kid. And I thought, let's try this. So that's what got me started. Was just seeing other people that crossed the finish line with a friend of mine way back in 2004. And I thought, wow, these people don't really, I don't look like a cyclist, and these people don't look like cyclists. And if they can do it, I can do it. So that's how it all kind of started for me.
Did it ever switch from that to the cause during the 20 years?
It most definitely did. Yeah, training with a team in LA, because that's where I started. I started out in Los Angeles, and training with the chain gang in LA exposed me to the entire world of AIDS life cycle, what it stood for, being proud or certainly not being ashamed of your HIV status. That was a new world for me. I was HIV positive at the time I started my first ride, but that's not something I had divulged to anyone. And it was the ride that changed my life in regards to HIV.
Brad?
Well, I started the ride because my partner signed up for it. And I thought, well, shit, if he could do it, I want to do it, right? It had nothing to do with the cause, right? I was up for the challenge. It wasn't until the first day of the ride when you're at the Cow Palace and you're riding out. My first ride was in 2007 ALC6, and it was just amazing. Just like it's so big, right? And it's much bigger than you, and I didn't really understand it until I got into it. Although I've known about the ride since, I moved to San Francisco in 1996. It was all going strong, but I really didn't understand the whole thing.
And when did it switch for you to the cause? Because you also started not for the cause.
So I mean, really, that first day of the ride, my first ride. However, from then on, I was riding for HIV. But then in 2014, I was riding with HIV. So I had become infected, and that changed my perspective a lot.
What's the training like? Because I've never done it, so I'm just going to confess I've never done it. And I'm not a cycler. I'm not a good on the bike. I'll do anything else but that. So what's the training like?
Tim?
Uh,
Either one.
so yeah, so the training is. I wouldn't say it's impossible. I mean, as we both can attest, you take people who, you know, the most experience I'd ever really had on a bicycle was, riding around farmlands in Kentucky when I was a kid,
Right.
right? I mean, I hadn't really spent any time seriously as a cyclist until I started doing Aids LifeCycle, and I thought, what can a person who hadn't been on a bike in 20 years, be able to do this? And the short answer was sure. You just have to commit yourself, and I think that's the thing that makes the whole event so amazing is that it's not just you. There are literally thousands of you coming together to pound that pavement every single week.
And how long is that
September.
pavement? How long is that pounding? How many months? Weeks?
It depends. It depends on how much you want to throw at yourself at training. I'm one of those people that I don't like. Uh, I would rather train easy than try to compact it all into like a few months. I mean, there are people who certainly do the ride that start training in April, and I think they're crazy myself. But I'm one of those people who's like, let's just start as soon as you can. So we are September, October when I normally do, and so it's a gradual, easy incline from
Right.
then all the way to May. Yeah.
And Brad, how was it for you as far as the training?
Tim could probably tell you how many training rides I've been on. It's probably less than one hand.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a trainer, so I'm physically active. Otherwise, I'm on softball team. I play pickleball. I do other physical activities, but I'm not a trainer. And I can tell you, last year, I bought a new bike, a new Trek, and I can tell you how many miles I did because I got a new odometer on there. I trained 54 miles before I did the ride, which was
that's not even that's like from here to
it's not even a day.
not even a day.
He's one of the crazy ones.
Right. And you had no issue to do the whole week with 54 miles training?
Yes.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
I would be 6 feet under.
A lot of it for me, it's mind over matter.
Right.
And when you're looking at a day, let's say 111.1 miles, you can't think of it as 111.1 miles. I break it down into sections, and they give you a map on where the rest stops and water stops are. So I break it down into 7 or 10 mile increments. And that for me, 10 miles, I can do that. That's easy. So if you just, for me,
Gotcha.
10-mile deals, then you're done. The day's done.
Gotcha. Tim, you had an issue last year, if I remember.
I've had a lot of.
You had a lot of issues? Okay. Well, tell me how many issues you've had. I only know of one.
Oh my God. I'm truly a testament to, I laughed. I told my team a few weeks ago in a post on Facebook. We live in the land of aging Americans, right? I mean, people who are getting on in their life tend to move to the Coachella Valley, right? So do we have a
Speak for yourself,
right? We have an aging
Speak for yourself.
population out here. All the crazy things that happen, people say that your body starts to fall apart at 50. Our team is a testament to things falling apart at 50. Our team has people with, we've had people with vision problems, hearing problems, balance problems, heart problems, hip problems, ankle problems, you name it. If it's something that affects an aging population, our team's probably someone on our team's riding with that issue, probably. So yeah, I mean, I've had both hips replaced. I've had a heart attack while on the ride. I've had vertigo issues caused by COVID last year. Hearing loss caused by COVID last year. So yeah, I mean, I felt all.
But I mean, during the ride, it was the heart attack, right?
I did have a heart attack. Yeah, in 2022, I had a heart attack on the ride.
And what was that like?
It was there's lots of things. There's the whole story into itself. There's a lot of things I can say about it. One of them is the bicycle is a testament to your health. Those people who spend a lot of time being active in whatever capacity. My situation just happens to be a bicycle. It's like this bizarre world that I found myself in. Everybody, all my doctors, all of them were surprised that I had a heart attack. So it was there was no indications in my health records, no indication that I was somebody that had a potential of having a heart issue. So it surprised everyone. It surprised the medical team, which on Aids LifeCycle is extraordinary. I mean, it's like rolling around with your own MASH unit. had their own health medical teams, support teams, sports medicine teams, massage teams, all that, right? And it was the medical team that was just extraordinary in the whole event. We had just finished day 4 of the ride in 2022. That was about a 90-mile day. And I was in camp that night. I was on my way to dinner, and little unbeknownst to me, that wacky, crazy, big beaded sweat all over me that I was experiencing turned out to be a heart attack in progress. So it was a scary event, but like again, the medical teams on Aids LifeCycle were extraordinary. And from them to the paramedics to the ambulance crews to the emergency teams of the hospital, all the way into the cardiologist in Santa Maria's hospital, all of them were amazing, and they were all a little bit dumbfounded that this could happen this way. And since then, once you have one, you're part of the cardiac club, right? So, since then, I've had a great doctor here in Palm Springs that has been phenomenal, and he himself a cyclist, so he knows what I'm up against when training, and he has been with me the whole way, and I have a very clean bill of health.
So I'm assuming you did not finish the ride that year.
I'm assuming. Did not.
Okay.
I did not. I was actually in the hospital, and the cardiologist came in just to check on me after the procedure because I had an angioplasty and I had a stent put in. And the doctor came in and said, "Do you have transportation home?" And I said, "Yeah, my partner is on his way from Palm Springs. He's driving here from Palm Springs." And he said, "Oh, okay, I just want to make sure that you were going to try to ride." I said, I looked at him. I said, "Oh my God, can you? Can I?" And he starts laughing. He says, "Yes, I get that you feel great now." He says, "But no, I'm not letting you ride home."
So how did it feel training for however many months you did, the excitement, you're going to this thing, you're excited, and then boom.
Let me tell you, the interesting part of Aids LifeCycle is while we would all wish that all 2,500 or so participants of whatever that is that year can actually do every mile, the reality of it is it's a ride, and it's so big, and there's such a wide variance of non-professional cyclists right involved with it, that not every person can do for lots of reasons, health reasons, bicycle reasons, right? I mean, they're training. Some people just can't train enough before the event due to all kinds of things going on in your life. And what you kind of find is on the ride, you do as much as you possibly can. Every day, we're all getting up, we're all getting on that bicycle, and we're going to pound that pavement. We're going to keep rolling until we can't go that day for whatever reason. So while it's a little bit of a bummer that I couldn't finish the ride that year, it's a testament to all the people on the ride that do their absolute best every mile they can possibly do.
That's amazing. Brad, what about you? Hopefully not. I don't know, but hopefully not.
I didn't really. I had issues my first year, and that was with the bicycle seat.
Well, that's different,
right? So
yeah, that's different.
Until you learn how to ride that seat,
that's the worst thing for me. It fucking hurts.
Yeah,
just seriously.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about the blisters.
Oh, well, I don't do it for that long, so I wouldn't. Yeah, but it just fucking
That
hurts.
happened year one.
Yeah. Hey, but thank God you had nothing.
I have not had any medical issues. However, I understand that I want to ride every mile, and in my first year, of course, I was not feeling great, but I did every mile. Last year, at one point it was just so hot, I just couldn't do it. I took the best. You know what I mean? I took care of myself. This year I was able to do every mile, but that's what they have, all the support staff there for. And, if you have a flat tire, they're there in a moment. If you're having physical, problems, they're there. So there's so much support on this ride, and there's so much love. It's just such a great experience.
So between the two of you, you guys raised a shitload of money, especially this year. This year, I think it was the highest. This year, they raised 17.3 million, which is the second highest in 31 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what contributes to that. Do we know?
Well, probably the last year.
Because
Everyone's excited about it. You know, so I'm on the same team as Tim, and we raised
oh, you guys are? I did not know that.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
raised an
How
astonishing amount
funny.
of money, and it was I don't know the final number, but it was in excess of
Like
$400,000.
yeah,
So
like 425 or something like
right,
that.
so just an amazing out of Palm Springs that we were able to raise such a great amount of
That's
money.
insane. So I hate asking people for anything, for let alone give money. Um, and I know Tim, you're not shy, so I can tell you that. I don't know about you, Brad. What was like the whole process of asking year after year after year? Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. Anyone?
Uh, you do get, I think sometimes, when I think about the time I reached about year 6 or 7, um, you start experiencing what they call donor fatigue, right? Your donors kind of get tired of you
I'm
asking
sick of
for,
you. Yeah.
but even though that's a real thing, the thing that kind of blows my mind about it is, 20 years of doing this, my biggest donations ever were my last 2 years.
Mhm.
Both of them over 10,000. I raised 11 something last year, nearly 12 this year. So, um, while donor fatigue is real, the thing that's so amazing about, frankly, social media, and making it, because it makes it super simple, frankly, is just that it's less of a chore when to ask for donations when you bring everybody along with you. When you're constantly posting what you're doing and how proud you are of the team. And our team this year, in the last several years, has just been just incredible team of people. And it makes it, with their support and being surrounded by so many people in this community that of course understand the ride, understand the importance of HIV awareness. Um, it's actually easier than you think. I mean, it
I
is.
hate it. I absolutely
Uh,
hate it.
but thankfully, I mean, Brad can attest to this too. We have some really amazing, gifted donors who have. I mean, I have a few people, my best friend from college, best friends from college, who have literally supported me every single year for 20 years. People in my family the same. They love it as much as we do. They love you being successful. They love seeing you do something that's you're really passionate about.
Because you would think after, let's be honest, I mean, the whole AIDS topic, for lack of a better word, it's a bit old by now. So you would think people would get, okay, enough already. We got newer causes to worry about, you would
Well,
think. But
there are so many causes right now. I mean, there's a fundraiser every other
every
day.
second.
Yes, it is. I can understand the fatigue. I always start with my mother, right? She always gives me $500, right? And once you get that first donation and you post about it, you thank her, and it becomes easier. And you kind of have to guilt people a little bit. I have a client so I'm in construction, and I kind of do some handyman things for a client, and he's been saying for years that he was going to donate. Well, finally, Tim sent me an email. He's like, "Hey, are you going to start some fundraising?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." So I went to my client. I said, "Hey, you said you're going to donate." I said, "I need your credit card right now." He's
See,
like,
I wish I could, like, that's why I'm being in sales. It's just, to me, hats off to you. Hats off to you. Yeah. You guys will be very good salesmen. Yeah. Um, when you found out it was going to be the last year, like when you got the announcement, because I guess you got it. I mean, I just found out recently. When you heard it was it, what did that feel like?
I was sad. I was really sad. I wasn't going to do it this year, and I was going to take a year
Before you found out, or you
out. I was going to take a year off and then
right,
come back,
and then come back next year?
next year, right? Because that's kind of what I've done. I've done it a year and
A
then
year
take.
in a year.
Right.
You're not like Tim.
I'm not crazy like that. No. So I wasn't going to do it, and when I found out, I cried. Because
Oh,
it's been such a part of my life for the last 18 years. Whether I've
that's a
donated.
long time.
Right.
That's a long
I've
time.
worked on production with ALC. I've worked. I've ridden the ride. I've supported friends that have been on the ride, and it's just a sad thing. I don't know, I guess we're all getting older and things change, right? And so it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes when things change, right?
And you, Tim?
It was truly sad. But I come from a business background, and you can see, when revenue curves do this and cost curves do this, right? I mean, or however that, whatever. When they intersect, that's the point of no return. And like you're spending more money than the event's bringing in.
Right.
That's time to, and that's what was happening.
Right.
It's not necessarily the message of HIV being diluted or losing it. I mean, the need for what the services do, the money that goes to provide, especially when it comes to HIV prevention, HIV awareness, HIV education, those monies all being taken away by the new administration, is shocking on a level that not even the community can wrap its brain around right now. We need that money right now more than we ever have, right?
Which brings to the point is obviously it wasn't planned that way.
No,
but it
no,
happened.
no,
Right. So
right.
How does that makes the impact
even more severe, right? I mean, so you've got this method of having that money come in, and now it's gone on two fronts, right? That was a tough one for the community, and the community talked a lot about that on this last ride. About, okay, so it's not like HIV suddenly went away, right? That's been around for 40 years. It's is this mindset that HIV is now a manageable disease, and while that is a true statement on many levels, let's get real. I mean, that's not an unfair statement, right? So people think, oh, well, HIV is not a big deal anymore. Well, until you start looking at the amount of money it takes to actually keep someone that's HIV positive healthy, the cost is unbelievable. I mean, per person, it's unbelievable. So that's why you look at what the administrations are doing right now when it comes to cutting costs, and you think to yourself, well, okay, so maybe they can cut costs when it comes to education, transmission, all that kind of stuff. Well, actually, what you're
well, that's not okay either.
No, well, what you're actually, I mean, statistically speaking, on the most rudimentary level, what you're actually doing is creating a situation where more people will seroconvert. And the cost, once you seroconvert, the cost of keeping a healthy, I'm on a 1 pill a day regimen. Just the pill, nothing about healthcare, nothing about doctor visits, nothing about, how HIV affects my health in other ways. Just the pill alone is so expensive that you could literally pay for the education, the prevention of literally thousands of people off of just my pill, my cost for my pill every year.
And you're one person.
And I'm one person. You multiply that by thousands, and look what so the administration, well, it's going to save this much and cost themselves this much in the end. That's the crazy part that we all can't wrap our brain around. That makes no sense financially.
Well, there's no sense of wrapping your brain around. It's just not going to happen. So might as well give that up now.
Right.
A number on it. My pill, and I'm assuming that it's similar to Tim's, it's $100 a day. That's an amazing amount of money. So that's what, $36,500 just for that one pill. Now I'm on other pills too, but
because we
won't discuss that.
We're old. But that is exorbitant amount of money, and it's important that we still keep, and yes, maybe transmission is down, but we still need to keep it out there, right? We need to still provide condoms. We still need to have education. We still need to, have those avenues available for our youth, right? Because when I was coming up, in the late 90s, it was just starting to come out, and I missed the boat, right? I missed the education somehow, probably because I was in my depths of addiction, right?
Somewhere else.
But I was somewhere else. But now we can hand this legacy off to our children.
And right? I always say to them, you're so fucking fortunate. And I say this every time. They are so fucking fortunate to have what they have now, because I would say, I don't know, 90%, depending where they're born, have no clue what happened in the 80s or the 90s. It's not their fault. They just weren't born. They weren't around, but they can be educated if they want to do so, but that's on them. So anyway, continue.
No, that's it.
Okay.
It's important that we still keep it on the forefront of our mind, because
Right.
it's a disease
Right.
that it is easily transmittable, and and it can affect anyone. If you're, no matter the race, no matter the gender or how you identify, it can affect you.
But I think, like I said, it's just really important for them to know that. And I feel like I'm beating a horse with a stick every time I say that. But I think it's somehow they have to get the message that, we paved the way. That's just how it is. It's not arrogance. It's not, look at me, and they need to understand that somehow. Look at you, 20 years doing it. I'm not sure how many they did or they did not, but it's part of that process. So what's your highlight, Brad, in 11 years?
The highlight?
Yeah, 11 years.
So I want to tell you, on my first ride, as we're riding into Lompoc, in the old days, there was a hill that we would go up right before we got into town. And I was struggling so badly. My legs were killing me. My butt was hurting me.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, it was like hot. The sun was shining. And I'm going up this hill. I don't think I can make it. And all of a sudden, I feel a hand on the small of my back. And this man just says, "You can do it. Let's get up this hill." And he held my back until we got up the hill. Gorgeous man. Never saw him again.
Oh,
it was just, he was there, and I have to say, it was my God or my higher power or whatever you want to call it, wanted to make sure that I could make it through that day.
Did you ask for his phone number?
I had a partner at the time, and I'm not one. So.
Tim? Oh my God, 20 years for this.
Yeah, I know.
Between these stories like that, the thing that makes the community call the love bubble, is because there is such this crazy, unselfish outpouring of support and positivity for a week. It doesn't have to have a name. There's so many entities, so many people that are important to this ride, between the hordes of Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence and all the drag queens that are out there on the route, and the crazy people like Stephanie Steinbeck, who is sitting at a lawn chair outside Santa Cruz on Sunday, who's done it for 20, 30 something years, I think, for her, just sitting out there with a sign, with her brother's name on it, who passed from HIV. There's just these things, that these events, these people that pour themselves into this ride, that make it what it is, turned it into what it is today. Is just this week long. I call it the Burning Man effect. I'm a 9-time burner, and it's the same thing, where people who don't know each other all come together to form this, not just a cause. We're all there for HIV, right? It's so much more than that. It's so much. You're living in this bubble. You're living in this almost a make-believe world, where people support you every day. You have the thing that we talk about coming back from these rides is the re-entry. And sometimes the re-entry can be so devastating for
re-entry to the real world.
To the real world.
Yeah.
Because you don't have somebody, every 15 minutes going, "Yeah, you can do this," or "Oh my God, I'm here for you," and like, "Where's my cheering section?" Right. So it's that kind of thing that you live in for a week, and you're live from the minute you get up to the minute you go to bed at night. It is just this amazing outpouring of love, support, and helpfulness, and the greatest part of the human spirit. And it's such a treasure. I think that's the part of this that we all will miss the most. Is it's not just a ride. It's not just a tremendous physical feat. It is, you are just smothered and surrounded in love and support for a week. And it's what we all wish we could live in every day.
Listening to your talk, it was just reminding me, that everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I guess this is one story that lasted for 31 years.
Yeah.
Do you think you guys or others will need to find another way to fulfill that void, or is it just maybe something will happen, maybe not, um, and we'll just move on with the void as we all have voids in our lives when things end?
No, there's going to be, this will continue in some form.
Oh,
So San Francisco and LA are each going to have their own
something.
fundraising avenues, right? It's going to be a shorter ride, but it will still be there still will be something, but there won't be this 7 day down the coast of California. But there's still going to be, I think, support, because I just, again, as Tim was saying, that with the current administration cutting funds just left and right, and and losing both those revenue streams is so devastating. I think that the community is going to come around and rally. And sometimes we need a little kick in the pants to
Right, to
get
get
things
stop
done,
being
right?
complacent. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, you always have to. Okay, you had fun, 31 years, you did your thing. Time to change the narrative. Time to change the script. Time to, I don't know, maybe a little harder. Maybe, I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. Does
It'll just be
anyone
different. Yeah.
go ahead?
No, I was just going to say it'll be just be different. It'll be, this community. I mean, that's the thing that we kind of, that this last ride kind of told everyone, is that it showed everyone that, hey, the community is there. We just have to figure out as a community
What's
what
next?
that next vision is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I tried to get one of the organizers from San Francisco on here, but I only have Facebook, so some of them don't even go on Facebook often. Does anybody know how much it costs to run it, roughly? Or why are you laughing?
It's a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot. I'm just curious the number.
I don't know the numbers. I
Okay.
think Tim might know a little
Right.
better than I do.
I mean,
And
roughly.
you can kind of take the roughly, right? I mean, because it's got two primary beneficiaries coming together, right? You got the San Francisco AIDS Foundation, you've got the Los Angeles LGBT Center. Um, uh, Even themselves, those two organizations themselves are extremely different in size and scope,
That's
right?
true.
Not San Francisco AIDS Foundation is this big. LA's Gay is the world's largest LGBT a nonprofit. So I mean, you've got these two big, huge beneficiaries, and sitting in the middle is AIDS LifeCycle. So you can kind of see that the cost is significant. I mean, it's in the millions to produce. You can kind of take whatever the magic ending number, roughly 18 million, divide it in thirds. A third goes to is cost, a third goes to San Francisco, and the other third goes to LA.
Wow.
Roughly.
Right. Right. Well, thank you both for being here. Um, it's sad to see it end, obviously, but like I said, all good things come to an end, and we're going to start a new one to some degree or another. You're both from Palm Springs, so we appreciate that. And to everyone that's listening, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe and say hello. It helps me bring the stories here for you to hear it, for you to experience this. And again, for the youngsters that watching or listening, know that we've done a lot, so we can pave the way for you.
Come ride with us. Come
come,
ride with us. Come ride with us. We're still riding. We haven't stopped being a cycling team. So the desert road runners out here in the desert, come ride with us. We'd love to have new members.
but are you doing it just for fun? Are you doing it just
Oh
to
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we kind of take the summer months off. Riding in triple digit temperatures is, we like
right,
it hot, but not that hot. So
right?
we don't really ride it maybe once or twice, maybe a month during the summer months. But come September, October, oh yeah, we'll be back cycling like nothing ever happened. We'll, finding that new thing, finding that new adventure, finding that new challenge. So yeah,
What if,
we'll be
and what
cycling.
if somebody like that's just having hard to pedal to the pedal? What do you guys like? Obviously, you all been doing it forever. So what should they expect?
Uh, we have fun. If you're one of those people that likes to cycle and you're a go-getter
Get her?
pro cycle wannabe, that's probably not where we could be the team for you. We are tend to focus on having fun.
But what if you like Brad and the seat hurts and you just can't sit on it? What are you gonna do?
Then you get to be a supporter.
Okay. Okay.
So, you know what, actually being a part of I have done some rides, but you know, there's the camaraderie is great, right? So, you know, when I first came to the team last year, I I didn't have any of the gear that I needed because I had just moved here. So everyone on the team donated stuff so
Oh, wow.
that I could have gear. I mean, I bought the bicycle and what have you, but like I
Right.
didn't have the bibs or anything like that. So, you know, we really kind of help each other out. And you know what? When you have a flat tire, 3 or 4 people are going to stop and offer to change it for you, right? I don't think I've ever changed a tire. It's
I
always
wouldn't even know where to start.
been
I wouldn't even know where to
I would
start.
have
Yeah.
you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And we appreciate you. And everybody else, we will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.